Hello guys, Alex here with another reaction that you guys asked me a lot, because after the last videos that we made about Philippines music industry, how is the life over there, if it's safe, if it's not, you guys wanted me to see about, you sent me this video actually that you wanted me to react to, and it's about corruption. You talked about a lot in the comments and you wanted me to see this. The original link, you're going to find it down below, of course. I want to thank to Jessica who sent this to me. And hey Alex, I just want you to react to this one and tell me what you think. The top 10 most corrupt Filipinos, allegedly. So yeah, I don't know what to think yet. I don't want to say anything until I'm listening a little bit. And yeah, a lot of other videos on the channel about Philippines, about singers, about music. I have another channel as well. It's Alex N channel. You can find the link in the description if you want to see other reactions from me with a lot of other things. So let's go and let's hear what the hell is this, because corruption, it's everywhere, not only in the Philippines. Let's make that clear from the beginning.
In 1986, driven by public unrest and a desire for change, the People Power Revolution ousted President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., a nationwide movement sparked by years of alleged dictatorship, human rights abuses, and massive corruption. So here's a logical question. If the country ousted a leader allegedly for dictatorship and corruption, shouldn't corruption have been minimized afterward? You'd think so, right? But here we are, nearly 4 decades later. And guess what? We've somehow mastered the art of rebranding corruption under the banner of democracy. Some of the richest, most powerful, and most untouchable figures in Philippine politics today have one thing in common: a long paper trail of corruption allegations. And that raises another question. If we ousted a president for being corrupt, yet corruption continued and even flourished after him, what does that say about us as a nation? Did we really remove the problem, or just replace it with a better disguise? Makes you wonder, was Marcos Sr. truly the root of it all, or was he just the most convenient target at the time? We've compiled the 10 allegedly most corrupt Filipinos after the exile of Marcos Sr. Let's be clear, this is not a conviction or a court ruling. We're not declaring anyone guilty, nor are we claiming that all allegations are true. This list is simply a compilation of corruption issues raised against these individuals based on official reports, Senate hearings, whistleblower accounts, journalistic investigations, and audit findings. Then we ranked them according to the reported amounts involved. Are these people truly corrupt? Maybe. Are these just politically motivated attacks by enemies and bitter rivals? Possibly. And in some cases, probably. Let's be honest. Not every accusation smells like truth. Some reek of political vendetta. Now, let's check out what we've found. Here they are, starting with number 10 on our list of the allegedly most corrupt Filipinos.
Okay, before it starts, because this is a sensitive video, I'm going to say my opinion about it, okay? So I'm not taking any sides. I'm just speaking over here. You maybe agree or not. Speaking from the beginning and with the people, with the power, with the revolution, shows to me something very important about Filipino people. That when corruption and abuse goes too far, Filipinos do stand up, and that's really important. But, you know, removing one leader doesn't automatically remove the corruption. And this is happened and happening in a lot of other countries. You know, because a system doesn't just disappear because a face changes. A figure, it isn't there anymore. And this is not only about Philippines, like I was saying. Many countries learn this lesson, and unfortunately the hard way. And if we can, I mean, I guess we can do a top 10 or maybe top 20 or maybe top 100 with a lot of countries. But yeah, let's go ahead.
At number 10 is Bong Revilla. Revilla became one of the most prominent names in the PDF scam, a massive pork barrel scandal that exposed how lawmakers funneled public funds to fake NGOs in exchange for kickbacks. He was accused of diverting 517 million pesos from his PDAF to bogus organizations linked to Janet Napoles, his alleged partner in crime. He also reportedly received 124.5 million pesos in kickbacks through his aide, Richard Cambe. Cambe was later convicted. When the government tried to recover 224 million pesos from Revilla, he allegedly refused. He was accused of hiding 200 million pesos, including money sitting in his bank accounts. The AMLC was forced to flag his accounts, but it was too late. The money couldn't be recovered. In 2014, Revilla was detained at Camp Crame while facing trial for plunder and multiple counts of graft. For a while, it looked like justice was closing in. But in 2018, the Sandiganbayan acquitted him, and in 2021, all graft charges were dismissed. Critics didn't buy it. To many, he remains the poster boy for PDAF scam. In 2025, he lost his bid for re-election. The total amount he was allegedly linked to? 1.015 billion pesos. At number 9...
Okay, so the question is, did we fix the problem or, let's say, just replace it? Because it happens in a lot of cases. And this question, in my opinion, hits hard. If corruption continues after a dictator is removed, it means that the problem goes deeper than one man. It's logical. It lives in the institutions, of course, in the weak enforcement, in the political culture. It's sometimes even in, unfortunately, I'm going to say this as well, in public tolerance. And I'm not, like I said, this is not only about the Philippines. This happens in all over the world, in my opinion. But you know, even if the people tolerance, that doesn't mean that people accept corruption. It means that the system, in my opinion, hasn't evolved enough, fast enough, for all these things to be, you know, settled up. But you know, it's hard. This video, it's not easy for me to do. Like I said, I'm not keeping parts of any side. I'm not with the corruption. We have it here a lot, and yeah.
Is Joseph Arap Estrada. Joseph Estrada became the first Philippine president convicted of plunder. But that wasn't the only case tied to his name. He was accused of pocketing 10 million pesos a month from Huweting lords, exposed by his former drinking buddy, Chavit Singson. He also funneled 545 million pesos in illegal funds through a youth foundation under his control. He misused 130 million pesos in tobacco taxes, took 189 million pesos in commissions from Belcorp stock deals, and allegedly played the market using an alias, Jose Velarde, to manipulate 3.2 billion pesos worth of BW Resources shares. Even as Manila mayor, he didn't slow down. KOA flagged him for 389 million pesos in shady city spending. And he was linked to a scandal involving 200 million pesos worth of luxury cars handed out like party favors to his friends and allies. In 2007, Estrada was convicted of plunder and sentenced to life. But just weeks later, then-President Gloria Arroyo gave him a full pardon. The total estimated amount he allegedly stole, 4.729 billion pesos.
Okay, I respect that this video clearly states these allegations, not convictions, if I can call it like that. But, you know, in politics, accusation can be real, exaggerated, or strategic, I think. Strategic, it's a lot what happens. And should this be watched as in my opinion, as an analysis, a reflection, not as a final judgment. If these things are true, it's just a wow. And you know, I'm thinking about the number 10 over there, Revilla, it was his name. The amount of money are really insane. And what shocks me here isn't just the amount, because that's shocking, yes, before. But, you know, it's how organized the corruption becomes. The fake KONGs, the bank accounts, the legal things, you know, that tells us that corruption at this level isn't accidental, of course. You wanted to do that. And again, that doesn't reflect the ordinary Filipinos that I'm interested in. It reflects the operating system that happens over there. And speaking about here where we are at Joseph Estrada with 4.729 billion, Estrada's case is, in my opinion, is controversial, yes, because he was convicted. And then what happened? That's the most, you know, when justice appears selective, public just collapse. Because justice is justice. People don't just lose politicians, they lose the faith in the system, in them. So that's why, like I lost faith in everyone. Guys, my opinion, that's it. You are free to have your own.
At number 8 is Nicanor Faeldon. In 2017, while heading the Bureau of Customs, several billions worth of shabu slipped through the country's ports, undetected. Senators Ping Lacson and Franklin Drylan called him out. Whistleblower Mark Taguba pointed fingers. Faeldon was accused of either gross negligence or outright collusion. He was transferred to the Bureau of Corrections. But instead of a fresh start, he sparked another storm, the GCTA for sale scandal. Hundreds of inmates, including high-profile convicts, were reportedly released early in exchange for bribes. Senators and watchdog groups accused Faeldon of turning Bucor into a pay-for-freedom machine. Multiple Senate hearings followed. Witnesses testified. Patterns emerged. Faeldon was painted as a protector of corrupt networks inside both BOC and Bucor. And yet, no plunder or graft charges were ever filed. He was fired from Bucor by President Duterte. But as of 2025, Nicanor Faeldon remains free and legally untouched. The total amount allegedly linked to his scandals? 6.4 billion pesos. At number 7 is...
Okay, when we see this happen repeatedly, there is a pattern. And when powerful figures connected to scandals are connected, you know, like we see, but they don't have any, you know, any punishment, if we can call it like that, accountability. And when the corruption investigators stop halfway, it creates that dangerous message that, you know, do they even protect us? And that's a powerful thing, man. Watching this and realizing not only what happened and what happens or happened in the Philippines, I'm trying to see what happens over here as well. Oh, man.
Jose Miguel Mike Arroyo. As the husband of former President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, Mike Arroyo was often seen as the power behind the throne, and just as often behind the scandals. His name surfaced in one high-profile corruption case after another, always in the background, always pulling strings. In the controversial 17.7 billion pesos ZTE-NBN broadband deal, whistleblowers Joey de Venecia III and John Lozada accused him of pocketing 2.3 billion pesos in kickbacks. Then came reports that he bankrolled vote-buying operations in Lanao del Sur, allegedly pouring in 500 million to 1 billion pesos for special operations during elections in Mindanao. His former aide, Veronica Bing Rodrigo, claimed he received 50 million pesos in lobbying money tied to telecom franchise approvals. He was also linked to the misuse of 20.5 million pesos in PCSO funds and to a rotten rice import deal that cost taxpayers another 9.5 million pesos, all allegedly orchestrated while hiding behind official titles and executive immunity. He was indicted in 2007 for the ZTE deal, but walked free after posting bail. By 2016, the charges were dropped. The total amount allegedly tied to his name? 9.08 billion pesos. At number 6 is Fidel Ramos. Fidel Ramos is often praised for steering the country toward economic reform and political stability. But behind the glowing headlines, his presidency was shadowed by billion-peso controversies that were quietly buried over time. The biggest scandal was the Clark Centennial Expo, a supposedly patriotic project turned pork barrel disaster. The budget ballooned to 9 billion pesos, and COA audits flagged bloated costs, padded contracts, and questionable deals left and right. Then came the Bonifacio land deal. A prime slice of what is now BGC was sold to Ayala Land and other developers for a fraction of its value. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee reported a 1.7 billion peso undervaluation, one of the largest land undervaluation cases in Philippine history. There was also the Libya Fund scandal. According to WikiLeaks and PCIJ, a $200,000 diplomatic donation from the Libyan government was quietly mishandled under Ramos's watch. To this day, no one knows where the money went. Despite Senate probes, media exposés, and COA audits, no plunder or graft cases were ever filed. The total amount allegedly linked to his administration? 10.7 billion pesos. At number 5 is Andal Ampatuan Jr.
Okay, I'm going to stop for 1 second over here because this is a thing that I talked in the other video that I had with musical industry as well, but infrastructure as well. So when these scandals about infrastructures become, they hurt deeply because people are living there and, they see it every day. And a broken building, an overpriced project, wasteland, or whatever you want to call them, it's a reminder for the people that look what happened over there. It's a reminder of corruption, of things that are not working. And you can erase documents, but you can hide the concrete failure. And that's really shame because Philippines deserve more, in my opinion. So, man, this video hits hard.
Andal Ampatuan Jr. is best known as the principal suspect in the Maguindanao Massacre, the deadliest election-related killing in Philippine history. But beyond the murders, a mountain of corruption and smuggling allegations also surrounds his name. His family was also exposed in a COA audit for charging the government 238 million for diesel fuel deliveries that never happened. Meanwhile, the Anti-Money Laundering Council uncovered a staggering list of hidden assets: 597 bank accounts, 132 vehicles, 113 houses, and 142 firearms. Ombudsman reports later confirmed over 100 million pesos in undeclared wealth. including 55 million pesos from Andal Sr.'s estate and 54.9 million pesos from Andal Jr. himself. And in 2023, separate from the massacre case, he was convicted of 21 counts of graft involving overpriced fuel contracts. The total amount allegedly linked to his name? 11.2 billion pesos. Number 4 in our list is
Jesus Christ. You know, this case shows how corruption and violence can become connected. And that's really, man, wow. I didn't expect this video to be like this, honestly.
Janet Lim Napoles. Janet Napoles was the woman behind the biggest corruption scandal in Philippine history, the Priority Development Assistance Fund scam, or PDAF. From 2007 to 2009, she allegedly orchestrated the funneling of lawmakers' pork barrel funds into fake NGOs she controlled, pocketing billions in public money. The Commission on Audit, along with whistleblower Ben-Hur Luy, exposed how 2.157 billion pesos was diverted to Napoles-linked NGOs. Politicians got massive kickbacks in exchange for funneling their PDAF through her. She was also linked to the Fertilizer Fund scam, involving 728 million pesos in agricultural funds, and the Malampaya Fund scam, where 900 million pesos in energy royalties vanished through bogus projects. Even before all this, she appeared in a 2001 military procurement case involving 3.8 million pesos worth of Kevlar helmets. In recent years, the courts ordered her to pay over 300 million pesos in civil penalties and restitution tied to the cases of Bong Revilla and others. But the real damage had already been done. In 2015, Napoles was convicted of plunder and sentenced to life. More convictions followed in 2021 and 2023 for graft, bribery, and malversation. She's now serving a cumulative sentence of more than 100 years in prison. The total amount she was allegedly behind? 13.85 billion pesos. Number 3 is Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. Arroyo's president.
Oh my God. You see, this one, it's the clearest example of corruption involving politician and private operations. That's what we just saw. It provides corruption, not just politics, but in a network. And that's scary. The fact that conviction happened here, you know, it's possible. And unfortunately, I know it's slow, but oh my God, man. I'm thinking, with all this money in all this time invested in Philippines, in people who are really struggling, oh.
The presidency was rocked by some of the country's biggest corruption scandals, and she was at the center of nearly all of them. She was accused of approving the overpriced 17 billion ZTE-NBN broadband deal in exchange for kickbacks. Then came the 728 million fertilizer scam, where funds were allegedly funneled to fake NGOs, again under her watch. In the PCSO scandal, 66 million pesos in intelligence funds under her office were flagged for misuse. She was also linked to the 900 million Malampaya Fund scam. Overspending during the 2007 ASEAN Summit raised eyebrows.
900 million.
All that money, all that promise reduced to ruins. Proof that in this country, decay doesn't wait. It's built in, funded, and left to rot as a monument to what greed leaves behind.
With 830 million blown on the Cebu Convention Center and $500 million pesos on overpriced lamp posts.
What was meant to showcase progress and grandeur now reflects downfall and disgrace. The Cebu International Convention Center, built with $1 billion pesos, is now buried in misery. Drenched in wasted funds, it sits at the heart of a growing squatter zone and abject poverty. Once a grand project, it now stands as a rotting symbol of monumental corruption and government neglect.
Add to that the IMSA and North Rail deals, foreign contracts riddled with overpricing that cost the government another 7.3 billion pesos. On top of it all, the infamous Hello Garcia wiretap suggested electoral fraud in 2004, a scandal that nearly got her impeached. She was arrested in 2011 over the PCSO fund case, but was acquitted by the Supreme Court in 2016. The total amount allegedly tied to her presidency, 29.75 billion pesos. Number 2 on the list is Paolo Pulong Duterte. Pulong is the eldest son of former President Rodi Duterte, known for his war on drugs, but many question Duterte's sincerity, pointing to Pulong, who's often accused of being a drug lord protector. While the father is respected by Mindanaoans and Cebuanos, Pulong is feared in Davao. A stark contrast. He was at the center of the 6.4 billion peso drug smuggling scandal in 2017. Customs officials and fixers said a group called the Davao Group, led by Pulong, helped illegal shipments pass and collected millions in grease money. He's been accused of smuggling luxury cars, taking bribes at Davao ports, and protecting ukay-ukay imports, all signs of underworld behavior. He was linked to the 65 billion peso Farm Alley scandal, reportedly using connections to land big pandemic contracts. Reports flagged 27 million pesos in unexplained wealth, along with ghost projects and shady deals in Davao. More recently, CCTV allegedly showed him beating a pimp in a Davao bar after failing to provide girls for him and his guests, a place he's said to frequent. Many say he hides behind his father's name to bend the law, manipulate deals, and bully anyone in his way. Total amount tied to him? 71.5 billion pesos. Despite all the allegations, Pulong has never been indicted. Some cases were dismissed, others are still under investigation, and some never reached court. In the end, these remain allegations. Interestingly, many of the claims trace back to Antonio Trillanes. Yes, the same man who once led a failed coup against a sitting president. He built much of his career on rebellion and outrage. This country needs strong anti-corruption crusaders, and a watchdog like Trillanes could make a real impact. But only if he sets aside personal bias. And finally, number 1 in the list of allegedly the most corrupt Filipinos is Martin Sonny Romualdez. As Speaker of the House, Romualdez is now at the center of what may be the biggest budget scandal in Philippine history. In 2025, he was accused of inserting 241 billion pesos into the national budget using falsified entries. The complaint, filed with the Office of the Ombudsman, includes 12 counts of graft and falsification, and alleges that large portions of the insertion were funneled to favored contractors. But here's the explosive part. 32 billion pesos of that insertion was allegedly used to pressure lawmakers into signing the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, with 25 million pesos in ayuda.
Like I said, the original link down below, if you want to go and show some support over there, they deserve it. It was quite shocking for me because it reflects what happened in the Philippines, but it reflects what happens in this country and in a lot others, because corruption is everywhere. Like I said, my comments in this video are my opinions, my thoughts. You maybe agree, maybe not. It's totally fine. You can say it down below. Nobody judges, you know. It's more disappointment in the Philippines as well, in my country and in others, because this is not just stolen money. This is lost opportunity. This is schools not built, hospitals not founded or built. You know, future for children, for people in need, for older people. But you know, I still believe in the Philippines. I'm starting to know this country from a lot of singers that you have, you know, and everything, the food and all these videos, that makes me believe in the Philippines and in the people over there. Because a young population, a strong family, culture, creativity, music, resilience that you guys have, it's impossible not to believe in you. And the real question, in my point of view, is will future generations will demand stronger system or refuse to accept this corruption? You know, it's sad. It's sad, but you know, yeah. I want to, like he said, I want to know your thoughts. You know, if you're a Filipino living in the Philippines or abroad, how do you see this issue? Did you know about this? And you know, and if you are from another country that you are watching, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be, you know, Filipino. What lesson can we learn? What happens in your country? And yeah. Anyways, I know politics, it's a really, really, really sensitive argument. So let's keep it respectfully. Nobody, you know, I'm not taking sides of anything. And I'm going to say this last thing because it's already a long video. He said one thing. Was Marcos the problem or just the easy target? I don't think he was the problem, because corruption, like he said, it kept growing even, you know, 10 times bigger. But that's only my opinion. I'm waiting for yours. I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Like I said, amazing documentary. Go and show some appreciation to the people that made this. The original link in the description. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. I believe in you, Philippines, and in the people over there. And like I always say, till next time, stay safe.